Well, hello there and welcome to GGSP. I'm Rad. Coming up on today's show, we're all in this together as we try to keep it together in the mad dash minigame mayhem of WarioWare Get It Together. And we help you and your family play together with some great games to get your grown-ups into gaming. And of course, we get some of your questions together to answer at the Ask SP desk. All together now!
Alright, it is time to talk games. And one game I am pleasantly surprised to be talking about is Deltarune Chapter 2. Things pick back up with Chris, Susie and Ralsei exploring the dark world, but this time with a delightful techno twist to it. New friends join the fray as you tussle with some new frenemies, or recruit allies to the cause, if you're going for that pacifist route like me. I don't think I enjoyed this chapter's pacing as much as one, but there's still some sweet moments, and definitely a few haunting implications for the rest of the tale. Chapter 3 cannot come soon enough. But now let's take a look at what's news in the gaming world. First up, Microsoft has launched its Xbox Cloud gaming service in Australia. The service allows Game Pass Ultimate subscribers to stream games from Xbox Series X powered cloud servers to their phones, tablets or computers, with streaming to consoles planned for the future. Several games, such as Minecraft Dungeons, even support touch controls on mobile. This is the first official game streaming service to launch in Australia. I just hope my internet is good enough to use it. Now, if keeping an Xbox in your pocket isn't your style, soon you'll be able to catch them all and keep them all in your pocket. In card form. In digital card form. The Pokemon Company has released a quick teaser for a new app, Pokemon Trading Card Game Live. And not to be confused with the old Pokemon TCG online app, this one will be updated for smartphones and allow players to customize avatars, trade digital cards, and battle it out online all on the go. But you know how the saying goes, where there's a mobile app, there's probably microtransactions. I guess we'll find out more when the global beta is released later this year. Hey, if you've ever thought making your own game would be kinda hard, well soon it could be as simple as telling an AI to make it happen. The OpenAI Codex is a web tool where users type in commands in English. A second window on the side projects the code, and the main window shows what the code can do. So far, the company has invited developers through a private beta to give their artificial intelligence a go. But it's impressive to think what kind of games could be made in the future. If it's as easy as writing, "Make it rain cheese toasties," I might have to give it a crack. Finally, have you ever looked at a handheld console and thought, gee, I wish this was smaller than my thumb? No? Yeah, me neither. But check this out anyway. This is the Thumbie, a super tiny playable keychain that has now been successfully crowdfunded. It contains an OLED display, 2-hour battery life, 5 built-in games, and support for MicroPython, so you could create your own games for it. And that's the news. So let's get on with the show. Roll the thingy!
Can video games be art? Well, what is art? This is art. So can a game where you pick noses, pull armpit hairs out of statues, and figure out which team won in Splatoon be art? Well, the more I played WarioWare Get It Together, the more I thought, yeah, picking noses is art. Get It Together is probably unlike any game you've played. Instead of one game, there's 222 micro ones that you'll play through in rapid succession in each of the theme stages. The games last about 5 to 10 seconds each, and their art styles are as different as their objectives. I loved seeing what would happen in each of them. And to continue my art analogy, it felt like each stage was a different room in a gallery. Once you complete 10 to 15 games, you'll tackle that stage's boss, a unique one-life challenge that gets more difficult on each attempt. These range from really fun, like clearing a Super Mario World level, to painfully hard, like this one, where you need to save a little floating friend by pushing water around. There's a pretty thin story tying all of this together. Wario, the garlic-obsessed anti-Mario, has created a video game company to get rich. But on the eve of release day, something goes wrong, and Wario and his employees are sucked into their game. It's appropriately silly. Cutscenes are presented in a really cool, limited animation style that combines thick cartoon drawings with almost photorealistic backgrounds and effects. I managed to finish the story in about 2.5 hours, unlocking all of the modes and characters without any real difficulty. And of the 222 micro games I played, there were only about 10 that I didn't really like, and mostly that was due to the character I was using. That's because for each stage in Get It Together, you'll choose 3 or 4 characters with very different abilities. These are then randomly chosen for you to play as in each game. So not only are you trying to figure out what you need to do to blend a bunch of oranges, but you also need to remember how your specific character moves or attacks. While it's fun to play different characters, it's pretty annoying to fail basic tasks because the character you've chosen won't stop moving left and right. I'm looking at you, 9V. This is also doubly annoying because the first time through the story, you're forced to use every character at least once. I ended up sticking with certain characters pretty much the whole time because they were great all-rounders. There's no extra rewards for tackling stages with a disadvantaged character, so outside of pure challenge, nothing made me want to try playing with anyone else. Which is disappointing, because completing stages and getting high scores in Get It Together rewards you coins to spend in the Emporium. Fitting with the idea that WarioWare is a workplace, you spend coins on prezzies to gift each of your unlocked employees to increase their standing in the company. There's a bit of luck and skill to the prezzy system, as each character loves certain items and loathes others. I tried to use logic to figure out which character would love which prezzy, but a lot of the time it seemed pretty random.
I guess I'll take it.
Who doesn't like ice cream? Depending on how much characters like their prezzies, their level at the company will increase, which unlocks custom skins and increases the points that characters can receive in Get It Together's online competitive mode, the Wario Cup. This weekly custom challenge pits you against other players' scores for micro game glory. But a quick PSA, the Wario Cup does require a Nintendo Online subscription to participate in the ranked mode. The thing I love about WarioWare games is that they're full of fresh ideas that remind me that video games are actually really fun to play. I would have loved to see what crazy ideas the developers could have come up with using the Switch's touchscreen or HD Rumble. But what is here is so charming, silly, and fun that I'm gonna give WarioWare Get It Together 4 out of 5 rubber chickens. I wonder if they'll put Walu Kirby in the next Smash Brothers.
Games are great. You know that, I know that. But sometimes grown-ups need a bit of extra convincing, and you should always listen to their guidance and game in healthy moderation. But if you've got a grown-up in your life who's a particularly reluctant gamer, like Granny Gem here. Hello? Gemma? Hey, Granny. Oh, yes, good to see you, dear. Then we've got some game recommendations that might change that. Overcooked 1 and 2. The kitchen chaos of Overcooked can certainly put social and family relationships to the test. Communication is key, as your team of up to 4 adorable, bubbly chefs work together, or against each other, to prep, cook, and deliver meals to the hungry masses. Stressful? Always. But figure out who's head chef and who's on dish duty, and you might just have a smooth-running 3-star kitchen on your kitchen hands. So if you think your grown-ups can stand the heat of the Overcooked kitchen, you might like to give these games a taste test.
Oh, so you taste this one? That's exciting.
Oh, no, it's a figure of speech.
I didn't know they had this technology. Warren, you can taste this game.
Rayman Legends. Cooperative or co-op platformers are a great way to share the experience of gaining progress and overcoming challenges in a game. And Rayman Legends is one of our absolute favourites. Help each other to reach new platforming heights. Revive your teammates if they find themselves in a bubble of trouble. There's a whole world of co-op platformers like this one, But Rayman's colour, soundtrack and quirkiness make it a great introduction to the joy of shared platforming.
Where's that nice man's arms? Back in my day, our video games had arms.
Oh, no, the arms aren't... He does have them, it's just kind of separate. Minecraft. Even more than 10 years after its initial release, this pixelated survival building experience is still one of the biggest games in the world. Not only is it easily available on heaps of different platforms, it just so happens to be great for showing your grown-ups the amazing things games can offer, from the principles of programming to pure creativity. If your grown-ups feel a bit too newbie to try out survival mode with you, why not work together on a creative mode family project, like building a replica of your own house, or creating your family dream home. You could even build a virtual holiday destination.
What? No, I'm on the phone to Jem. She's telling me about Minecraft. No, not Mimes. What, is it Mimescraft? Hello?
Portal 2 Co-op. Portal 2 is another one of the best games of all time, and it just so happens to come with an awesome co-op mode. 2 players take on the roles of robots, Atlas and Peabody. Equipped with the trusty portal guns, the duo must tackle the mind-bending, physics-based puzzles together as they manage an increasingly challenging series of test chambers, all the while accompanied by the delightfully menacing wit of supercomputer AI GLaDOS.
To start preparing for human testing again, I checked an old suggestion box. The number 1 request? Less deadly tests.
Oh, Muffin Man.
Kerbal Space Program. Playing games is easy, right? It's not rocket science. Except when it is rocket science. Kerbal Space Program is a sophisticated space program simulation game. And sure, the first KSP doesn't currently have an officially supported co-op mode, but it can get a little complicated. So, all the better to get your grown-ups in on the action. It's sciencey, it's educational, and those Kerbals are adorably zany too.
Oh, did I ever tell you about watching the moon landing? Oh, yes, it was many years ago now. You were but a...
Now, these are just a few suggestions to help remind you how great playing games together can be. You may just make gamers out of your grown-ups yet.
The technology is just amazing, Jeb. It's truly outstanding. Makes me miss the days when you were but a little tyke. Oh, the trouble you would get up.
Here we are once again, whatcha, for another fine edition of Ask SP. And we have some great in-depth questions here this week to dive into, starting with this video from Samuel.
Hi GGSP, my name is Samuel and I have some questions for you. 1. How do you get Snowstalker fur in Subnautica Below Zero? 2. How do you get Snowstalker teeth in Subnautica Below Zero? 3. How do you expand your base in Subnautica Below Zero? Thank you, bye!
Thanks, Samuel. Let's sound off a bit of a spoiler alert first, though. Thank you. Just in case you want to go in cold to Subnautica Below Zero. Go in ice cold, you get it? Yeah, you get it. Anyway, to your first question about how to get Snowstalker fur, well, I think the best way to do this is with the help of the trusty and always adorable Spy Pangling. Once you've crafted a Spy Pangling and its remote, you can use it to safely get close enough to a Snowstalker to grab a few clawfuls of fur with those adorable little grabby claws. They will then appear in the Pangling storage compartment. I do also remember finding some Snowstalker fur around the place, so be on the lookout for it during your exploration. As for how to get Snowstalker teeth, well, I'm not sure you can. In the first Subnautica game, there were creatures just called stalkers that drop teeth. But I can't seem to find Snowstalker teeth as an element in any materials in Below Zero. And even if you do manage to vanquish a Snowstalker, they don't appear to drop teeth. On to tips for base expansion. Well, to be honest, I'm not much of a base builder myself, so I might get Darren in on this one.
Greetings, you've reached Deltarune.
Hey Darren, Samuel here is after some base expansion tips for Subnautica Below Zero.
Oh, I understand why you've come to me, Jem. I've seen your base.
Oi, that is my underwater home you're talking about, mister. Just make with the knowledge, please, Darren.
Okay. My first base expansion tip is that planning is crucial.
Make sure you have lots of space if you plan on building a substantial base. You don't have to expand your base near your original pod spot. You can choose anywhere you like. Remember, you can build rooms on top of each other and connect them with internal ladders, so keep a vertical height in mind as well. And make sure you consider how much power and reinforcement your base might need. In fact, you could try playing around with base building in the game's creative mode first. It's a great way to experiment with layouts to see how things do or don't fit together, and get an idea of what may eventually become available to you and what resources those items require. Once you've done a bit of planning, base expansion in survival mode takes time and a bit of grind, so start small. Lots of useful essentials require basic resources like titanium and glass, so you can build some worthwhile things without too much trouble. Perhaps an aquarium for fish, and storage lockers to keep things organised. Right, Gem?
Storage smorage. Wherever I drop my titanium is storage enough for me. But thank you for the tips though, Darren, they were very helpful.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Okay, well I think we have time for one more video today, and this one comes to us from Leo and Eva.
Hi GGSP, my name is Leo. And I'm Eva. Question 1. Is Pokemon Snap a safe game for kids? Question 2. How many rubber chickens would you give the Pokemon Sword and Shield series? Question 3. What battle games would you recommend on the Nintendo Switch? Bye!
Oh, thanks Leo and Eva. In answer to your first question about whether Pokemon Snap is a safe game for kids, well, new Pokemon Snap is officially rated G. And the game itself is a fun, colourful little experience, and pretty kid-friendly in my opinion. There is a small amount of online interactivity that might be worth checking with your grown-ups about first. As for how many rubber chickens would give Pokemon Sword and Shield, well, we actually reviewed it at the end of 2019, so you can check that out online and find out exactly how many rubber chickens we gave it there. On to what battle games would recommend, well, that's a bit of a tricky one. Lots of games have battles in them, so maybe we should start with games that have battle in the title? Like Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle for some turn-based strategy, and Plants vs Zombies Battle for Neighborville for some botanical/zombie-based battling. Aside from those, Pokemon Unite is another fun one to play, especially if you have a team of friends who can play with you. Then there's Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which is great for some fighting game style battling. Or you could try out the online multiplayer of Splatoon 2 for a few splat battles. Keep in mind that some of these games require the Nintendo Switch Online subscription to use their online multiplayer features. Alright, that is all the time we have for Ask SP this week. Keep sending us your fabulous questions here. And if your video makes it onto the show, we'll pop your deets down to receive a GGSP loot pack. Now, Darren's Subnautica advice has got me thinking maybe I should start using some better storage solutions around my base. Or I could just keep making alien containment tanks for all my pangolin children. Yes.
Well, that's your lot of GGSP for now, but I'm sweating already just thinking about what's coming up next week. We check out the latest fancy football footwork in FIFA 22. Plus, we show you how to burn some serious calories and play games at the same time with our top picks for games to make you sweat. But until then, stay safe, have fun, be nice, and keep gaming. Rat out.
Gem out.